Hey, what up, guys? Coming to you this morning with the February 8th, Saturday, February 8th weekend preview. We got a couple cards taking place on Saturday, a couple different cards, so let's jump right into them, see what we got coming up. First off, earlier in the day on Saturday, probably in the early afternoon, from the United Kingdom, we have a DAZN card going on. Two fights we're talking about here. The first one features two members of my 126-pound featherweight top 10. We got my number 7 former world title challenger Kid Galahad is going to do battle against my number 9 contender Claudio Marrero. This is an IBF title final eliminator, so the winner is going to be in line to fight for the world title in his next fight. And will probably be, he's probably going to end up being the mandatory for Josh Warrington and Shakur Stevenson, the winner that comes out of that unification title bout. So, big opportunity for the winner of this fight. I like the matchup right here. Galahad fought Josh Warrington last year for the IBF title. He came up short in an ugly 12-round split decision loss. He got pushed right back to the front of the line due to his performance and not losing by much against Marrero, who fought and lost to Tug Nayanbayar last year in a WBC title eliminator, but is coming off of, he came back, got a win, and he didn't lose by much to Nayanbayar, so I think that's why the IBF's giving him an opportunity in this one. And I really think it's a fight that could go either way. Galahad is from the United Kingdom, so he's got home territory, but I think Marrero's ready for a title shot. I think Marrero's going to come at Galahad, and for some reason, I got Marrero pulling off the upset here in the United Kingdom and becoming the mandatory number 1 contender. But I do think it's a fight that could go either way. I could very easily see Galahad outboxing Marrero and punching his ticket for a world title shot again. So we'll see what happens. That's the co-feature. Now the main event sees the return of former welterweight champion Kell Brook, as he's still trying to make a splash at the 154-pound super welterweight division when he takes on little-known Mark DeLuca. Brook hasn't fought since December of 2018, and he really hasn't fought much at all the last 3 years. The biggest fight in his last 3 years was in May of 17 when he lost the IBF welterweight title to Errol Spence Jr. He really hasn't done anything major since then. He's just had a couple tune-up bouts. I think he's only fought about 2 or 3 times in 3 years. And, I think he's 32, 33 years old, so he really needs to make a splash somewhere soon. 154 is probably the best option for him, even though most of the champions fight for the PBC. 154's got more options because 147 is also pretty much a PBC division. So he's got to make a splash. I think he needs to get a mandatory done. But I think there are some fighters that would fight a former world champion like Brook, who's been in there against Triple G, Sean Porter, and Errol Spence Jr. So, we'll see what happens. I hope, I'm predicting Kell Brook to win this fight easily. I think he's going to get either a late stoppage or a one-sided unanimous decision and keep himself in line for hopefully what will be a world title shot or a bigger fight later in the year. I know Liam Smith, the former 154-pound champion, has been mentioned as a possible option later in the year, so we'll see. Now the other card, remember those two fights are on DAZN. That's going to be early in the afternoon from the United Kingdom, so make sure you're checking that out. Now the other card is on later on in the evening, 6 or 7 o'clock on Showtime. We got 2 fights we're talking about. First, the co-feature is going to see my number 10 super bantamweight in the world. He's a former unified super bantamweight champion, Guillermo Rigondeaux, as he continues his return and moves down to bantamweight, as he's going to challenge for a championship in a second weight class when he takes on little-known Librado Solis. I think Rigondeaux is going to dominate the action here and capture a championship in the second weight class. I think a middle to later round stoppage, possibly a decision, and Rigondeaux will capture that world title. Will capture a second world title with that win. So, that being said, is he going to return to super bantamweight after this? Because, I normally don't discuss anybody outside of those 12 divisions from 122 all the way to heavyweight. I think it's possible. I think he's just keeping his option open, trying to make history. I still believe Rigondeaux would consider returning to 122. He's got better options there, more makeable options considering he's with the PBC, and I can see that happening. So see what happens, but I got Rigondeaux winning this fight on Saturday and capturing that 118-pound title. And now the main event that night on Showtime is a good one. Fight of the day for sure. It's going to see Gary Russell Jr., the reigning WBC featherweight champion, that's 126 pounds, defending his title against undefeated mandatory number one contender Tug Nayanbayar of Mongolia. Big time fight right here between these two. Russell's slick, crafty boxer, veteran. He's taking on Nayanbayar, undefeated, rugged, tough fighter. Comes straight at you, and I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's a good clash of styles right here, and we're going to see what Russell can pull off. Russell wants something big next. He's talked about Leo Santa Cruz for a long time. You know, he wants a big fight next. I think he wants to move up to 130 to go after a big fight. There's also a fight with Abner Mares that could be possible for him. We just got to wait and see what he decides to do, but he's got to get through Nayanbayar, who's a good, solid, undefeated top-ranked contender. I think it's going to be a pretty decent fight, but I think Gary Russell is going to weather the storm and get a clean 12-round unanimous decision in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if either guy hurt each other, though. They both pack some power, but I really think Russell's gonna punch his ticket towards something bigger. Hopefully, he returns for the end of the year after the win too. And, you know, for the first time since 2014, we see him more than once in a calendar year. So we'll keep you posted. But that's it for the fights over the weekend. I got Gary Russell over Tug Nayanbayar. I got Guillermo Rigondeaux over Lubrado Solis. I got Kell Brook over Mark DeLuca. And I got Claudio Moreira over Kid Galahad. Showtime and DAZN. Make sure you're checking it out. All right, guys. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.